Hello, everyone. Welcome to the It Doesn't Matter podcast. And we've got myself, STINKFACE, John. We have
The Dominican Dream, baby. This is Papi Platno.
There he is, and we have.
I am the notorious one. I am Dom. Boom.
All right, and we're here to discuss my choice, my pick, as Dom has told me, and I might have forgotten, WWF Fully Loaded 2000, and it was quite a show, quite a pay-per-view. So, Dom, let's kick off this amazing Attitude Era pay-per-view.
All right, the show kicks off from Dallas, Texas. We got Jerry the King Lawler and good old JR on commentary. And they kick off the show with a nice video package featuring Chris Jericho, Triple H, The Undertaker, Kurt Angle, The Rock, and Chris Benoit. I want to say Chris Jericho again. It doesn't matter. It was a good way to kick off the show. It's all your top guys. But I'm curious, because the poster of the show has Stone Cold Steve Austin. How come he's not in the video package? Where's he at this time, John?
Is that the real Is that the real poster? I mean, I know it's on Peacock, but who knew Peacock to be the bearer of accurate WWF history? Nobody. So I'm not really sure if this was the actual photo or if they left it. Did they leave it as Stone Cold? Did they give it to someone else? I'm not sure. All I can tell you is that in 2002, a mere 2 years later, right around the time Stone Cold got the F out. He was on the poster for, what was it, Vengeance, I think? And when he left the company, they changed it to Edge, who had less vicious eyes than old Blue Eyes, Stone Cold Steve Austin. But I do remember that one. But for this Fully Loaded pay-per-view, I don't know if they ever changed the advertising from Stone Cold to someone else. But that's what it was, and if they kept it that way. False advertising from your friends at World Wrestling.
Sometimes I wonder, maybe it was because it had Chris Benoit on the cover and they just wanted to, erase the memory, even though we'll talk about him later on during the night.
I don't know if you Google the Fully Loaded 2000 poster, everything that pops up is Stone Cold, and they do have a one with The Rock and Benoit and Jericho and Taker, or vice versa in their matches. But who knows? But I doubt it. I don't know. Isn't there a poster of Benoit? It was like Backlash or that one too, Backlash or something like that. That he was on the cover of pay-per-view and he's like beating his chest.
Might have
like
been,
that.
yeah.
Do you recall?
That's
Wait a minute, Backlash 04.
04, 05? Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Was it 04 or 05?
I wonder if they still have it. I don't know. I'm about to look it up right now, though.
Pay-per-view posters that have changed over time. One of the most famous ones is WrestleMania 2000, where Chris Jericho was on the cover, but he was not in the Fatal 4-Way main event. He was replaced by Mick Foley.
All right, so they have two Backlash 04 posters. Okay. The first one is of Benoit doing that with his chest. Then they have another one with Randy Orton and Mick Foley with the barbed wire baseball bat. Yeah, so either way, it's both deadly. All right.
Well, sometimes. Anyway.
All right, so let's get to our first match. We have TNA featuring Test and Albert and Trish Stratus taking on the Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff Hardy with Lita. We have a 6-person intergender match right here. And the video package shows Trish taking out the Hardy Boys and Lita attacking her and Trish choking her out, Lita stripping her, Lita going through a table, and there's a heated rivalry. And John, what year was it that Lita and Trish Stratus main event of Monday Night Raw?
04 or 05 or 06. Many years later.
But all right, so this rivalry been going for a long time, basically.
But, we love hot opening matches here on the It Doesn't Matter podcast, and this goes right up there because, man, oh man, wowie, wow, what a big reception for Go TNA. You're pretty hot right now, ain't ya? But TNA got a huge pop coming out there, not due to Test or Albert, I'm sure, but due to the Canadian strongwoman, Trish Stratus, But, she comes out, got a huge pop, and you know who they're going to wrestle. Or you can only imagine who the caliber of opponent they would have at that time. And there come the Hardy Boys and Lita. And, sometimes as a young man, you enjoy most people. But, man, I can see why I enjoyed Lita so much back in the day. I didn't enjoy her so much later on. But, Trish and Lita were the hottest things in the pro wrestling at that time. And this is great evidence to that effect. And you could also see how terrible Trish Stratus was in the ring. Call her Maxine Dupree if you want at this point of her career. Absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. But she tried really hard. Obviously, she got better as the years went on. But this was a great opening match. Aside from those things, a hot opening match. Very worthy of the It Doesn't Matter pod.
Definitely agree with that.
So you said Trish looked terrible in this match, but she looked amazing in this match, rocking that pink outfit, boy. Oh my God. And I don't know, I peeped it. I'm like, everybody in that match was wearing dark colors. Everybody had the dark black on and whatnot, and Trish just stood out with that hot pink. She knew
what she's doing. She found that camera and said,
so I see my favorite at that time. Still to this day.
And
yeah, but all right, so let's get to this match. Jeff Hardy, 2000. The fans loved him at this time. Matt really didn't have no ovation or whatnot, but every time Jeff got in the ring, he did one of his signature spots and whatnot. The fans were all over him right now.
Jeff was always, because he was that daredevil. Did they already have the table match with the Dudleys already by then? I want to say.
Wait, this is
so July. I think they had.
Yeah, they had
Wrestlemania 2000. The Royal Rumble that year.
So by then, Jeff was already basically like a made man for in a sense, where if anyone was getting the hot tag and Jeff was coming in, the crowd was gonna just go nuts. And unfortunately, people didn't realize it, but Matt was really the nuts and the bolts of the whole crew. Jeff was just really the excitement. He was the sizzle. He wasn't the steak. And what I noticed too, Lita, she had a hell of an ovation, especially for women back in the days. There's only like maybe 3 girls at that time that were actually getting that type of elevation. It was then you will see later on who also was, but it's crazy just thinking like Lita, like really you got more. Your pop was a lot bigger than the Hardys. That's nuts. And what a match, though. Still, like, I still don't like intergender matches. You can't change my mind on that. A lot of things I saw there, I'm just like, no, thank you. Do away with that.
like when Albert clotheslined Lita back in the neck.
Yep.
Years later, she had no injuries from that damn show she did.
That's all Lita's fault. She was very sloppy in this match, and we're just kind of glossing over the fact that these women were terrible in the ring at the time, and because we give them credit, we're giving them credit in advance that they would get better, and they did. But as bad as Trish was bad in the sense that she got lost a lot. She didn't know what she was doing. There's one spot in particular. I think she was like trying to drag Lita around, and like she went for a cover, and then she picked her up again. And they're like, no. And then Lita, her poor performance in the match was she was dangerously sloppy, which is not a terrible thing in other aspects of your life, but in the ring, she almost slipped and falled and broke her own neck. No wonder she broke her neck on the set of Dark Angel. That Hurricanrana, she had no space to do it in. A-Train, being the big dummy that he is, he's not a dummy, but being the big dude that he is, he could hold Lita and manipulate himself however he needed to, but Lita was literally working at a breakneck pace.
She did get in the ring and she got busy though.
Yeah.
Like she came in at one point, she hit Tess with the tornado DDT, got back on the top rope, the crossbody on A-Train, Albert, what you want to call him, and the Hurricane to Tess, and then she almost got the pinfall on Tess. That's the crazy thing about it.
I saw that. I was like, oh, shit. She's going to pin Tess.
Yeah, and after that, that's when Albert came in and clotheslined the hell out of her.
I mean, even though John says they were terrible, I get it. They weren't like veterans in the game. I feel like Lita was ahead of the schedule for what I seen, especially more for the women at that time. A lot of the women weren't really wrestling; they were just doing those catfight bullshit I couldn't stand. And then she's probably one of the most athletic women at the time, doing hurricanranas and moonsaults and stuff like that. She was very impressive, and it made sense why the crowd loved her. And she was very, appealing to the eyes. So, puppies.
Speaking of puppies, as well as the match was going, John said it was a little bit sloppy, and all the fans were chanting, "We want puppies! We want puppies!"
I'm glad we're past that stage, man. I know we were horn dogs, but relax.
I want puppies when Netflix comes
Jeez.
on. I'm not talking about that dog show either on USA.
Hated that damn dog show. Ruined many of Monday nights for me.
Yeah, but all right.
Well, as long as you have sci-fi, you'll watch Raw the next 2 weeks.
Didn't have Wi-Fi.
Oof. There you go. All right, so the finish of the match, we see Lita hitting the moonsault for the win.
Yes.
And that's when Albert clotheslined her again. And then they start whooping on the Hardys. And then Lita got whipped.
I got a question for you guys. After the beatdown and you seen all the expressions on TNA, who did I feel like Trish reminded me so much of Liv Morgan from the other night. I feel like just facial wise and just the way she acted, I'm like looking at Liv and then I'm looking at Trish from when I reviewed this. I'm like, okay, I could see she probably stole a little bit from her. I don't know. I don't know if you seen that, Dom, from the other night when she was talking to Dominic. I don't know. It just reminded me so much of Trish in her evil side.
I was just looking at the
That's
cheeks.
it.
Liv Morgan's cheeks.
It said 2 weeks ago. Yeah, you can find semblances of wrestlers from the past, present, and future all over the place. I don't think she's necessarily ripping anyone off or paying particular tribute, but maybe
I wouldn't say she's blatantly stealing, but she's got probably a little bit of mannerisms. I mean, if you're gonna steal from somebody, steal from one of the goats of the previous eras. I feel like
everything plays out because before we later on in that we see Eddie Guerrero in China, and you can see how Dom and Rhea is basically going to be. So you already see how that's going to play out.
Yeah.
So like you said, you got to steal from the best.
If Dom's going to steal from the best, steal from Latino Heat.
Hopefully not that haircut.
And get rid of that haircut.
Talking about the one Eddie.
As you can
talking
tell,
about the one Eddie had in Fully Loaded. That shit look terrible. Look like Hector Guerrero.
I believe the match only went 10 minutes, and we've been talking about it for 20. So let's move on to match number 2 of Fully Loaded 2000.
Before we get into the match, we had a backstage segment of Mick Foley talking to Edge. Edge is serious because his brother had food poisoning. They did.
Cool. How about that second match?
But after that, we have another backstage segment. We have the Undertaker. He pulling up in his motorcycle, and he's looking for Kurt Angle. He spotted Kurt Angle, and then Undertaker on his motorcycle. He takes off, and Kurt's just running throughout the whole damn building. And yeah, Angle was shitless. All right, but you want to get to the second match? Here we go. Our next match, we have Tazz going against Al Snow. They showed a video package of Tazz just taking out random folks. John, you gotta let me know what happened. Why is Tazz taking out all these random people? Like,
let's go back to those video packages earlier before the second match. But no, Tazz was, I guess he got injured. He had a tricep injury. As I'm not telling you anything that I learned. I learned it during this match that's what happened. But apparently he had a tricep injury. He was out for a little while. He was going between his new look of prisoner Peter Siragusa and old school Tazz. And he was just going around beating people up at random, which would come into play later in the show. And that's just what his new gimmick was. I mean, when when JR signed him sight unseen. He didn't know that he was 5'3", and when Vince McMahon saw him, well, goddamn, Bowers, another foot on you. So Vince was not a fan of Tazz at this time, but this is what they gave him, and you can just tell, like, in a recent interview, I think it was Mr. Everyone's favorite, Chris Van Vliet, whatever his name is. He was interviewing Jinder Mahal, and Jinder just relayed what Vince told him to be as WWE champion. Just look good and do holds. It's like, all right. So, hey, Tazz, no suplexes. Just brawl. And that's what Tazz did in this match. He just brawled with Al Snow, a guy who could handle the extreme nature of the Tazz in-ring competitor. Al Snow, he came out and didn't get much of a big reaction as he could have.
Came out serious.
Yeah, so this match was not much to speak about, unlike the first match. But it was just there to get Tazz on the show and show the devastating nature of his new character that they were pushing.
So watching this match, like, I didn't get that aura from Tazz from when I seen him in ECW, or I didn't get that aura when he made that debut in WrestleMania, or excuse me, Royal Rumble. But this Tazz, he looked like a regular J Brown.
That he was
with 2 Z's.
That he was.
Jeez. No, I agree. Like, if something was missing. It didn't feel like Tazz of ECW. Something was just, I don't know. He kind of felt like he was just going through the motions. Like, all right, this is what they want me to do.
Yeah.
I guess it's not what I really want to do, but
yeah.
I mean, that's the case of a lot of these guys like Tazz, and jumping fast forward into the future, Shinsuke Nakamura, the king of strong style, but maybe that style gets a little hard on you as you grow up, as you age, and you go to the WWE to retire, essentially. You go to the WWE, you work your ass off, and you're just going based off your reputation in your later years. Tazz did not have much of a wrestling career in WWE. Now, if he had gotten a push, maybe he would have stuck it out. But since he didn't, he gave it a good 3 years, transitioned to color commentator, and
I think Tazz said in like an interview before too, said as soon as he came in and then they started cheering him, he knew he was dead in the water because it wasn't a product. He wasn't a guy that was made from WWE. He was made from somewhere else. And Vince is not going to back somebody who was made somewhere else and put him on the show for some reason. It's sad. It's like you sign the guys, you make them, you want to make everybody superstars, but yet if they already came in as stars, keep them hot. I don't know. Like they say, it's his fucking sandbox, his toys. He's gonna do what he wants to do. But if something's good, just go with it. Sometimes you guys, you can't always just be stuck in your ways.
So Vince McMahon iced Keith Lee, and he iced Adam Cole as well. Granted, not a good point to bring up right now, considering both are injured and out of the limelight. But at the time, they were still both healthy, and they could both still go. And he didn't see it in either one of them. And only time will tell if Vince McMahon was right on those two. But I already know he's wrong.
It's just crazy seeing this match. Like, we know the competitor, like the type of wrestler Al Snow is, and he took it to Tazz right in the beginning. I never seen Tazz get beat up that much in the beginning of the match. And then Tazz maybe got one suplex off, if anything.
That's very rare for a Tazz match.
Yeah, and nothing against Al Snow. Al Snow, he's a great worker, whatever. But like I said, it was a complete different Tazz from what we seen a few years ago in ECW.
We all felt the same way. Something was missing, and we weren't going to get it this night or at all. And shout out to Al Snow again too, because he came in and busted ass and showed another side that we didn't see. I wasn't expecting from him, and he put on a good show.
Yes.
But unfortunately, this match doesn't matter.
Yes. All right, so after this, got another backstage segment. We see Edge and Christian is thrown up, but Foley came in with the doctor to check on him. And then another backstage segment. A lot of backstage segments in this damn show. We see Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, and she just sitting there, and some nice flowers sitting on the table. And then Triple H, like, who gave you these flowers? Oh, they're not from you? No. And then something saying it's true is true, and then Triple H believe it's Kurt Angle, and then now Triple H is pissed off. Now he's about to start looking for Kurt Angle. All the mind games, a lot going on. All right, so our next match, we have Eddie Guerrero with China going against Perry Saturn with the horny little she-devil, Terry Reynolds. This is for your European Championship. And first and foremost, before we get into this match, is Perry Saturn's eye really that lazy? When they zoomed in, that shit was going like this. I'm like, that must be a contact lens or something like that, misplaced. I never remember that guy's eye being that like that before. But China got pissed off. She pushed Eddie Guerrero. She ran down to the ring, the entrance, and she clocked the shit out of Saturn. So maybe the eye went straight. And Terry ran away. What do you guys think about the beginning of the match?
Like I said, I'm not a fan of the whole intergender thing. China obviously was a completely different character than all the women. She was built better than half the men in the fucking roster. And she was very intimidating. Even still, even though she was that mamacita at the time, I'm like, I ain't putting my hands on that woman. Ain't no way. She probably choked me out. But it sucks because it's like, in the video package, I think it showed that Eddie Guerrero was the one getting attacked from behind and doing all this other stuff. I would figure he'd be the one to start off and go after Perry. But maybe the frustration of not being able to get her hands on Terry and Perry been like hitting her from behind too. She just got frustrated, so she said, "Fuck it, you're not gonna do it. I'm gonna do it." But yeah, it was good fire in the beginning. I thought this was ended up going to be another intergender match, but come to find out, it was just Perry versus Eddie.
That's what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be mixed tag match, and it was for the title, and it was a good match. And China, she interfered a lot in this match, and I liked when Saturn got pissed off and fucking just clocked her like nothing. Oh man, it was a crazy time in the early 2000s. Yeah. It was like every single match. I don't condone it, but these dudes, they were just beating the shit out of these women like nothing. Oh Lord! But besides that, Eddie Guerrero and Perry Saturn, what do you guys think about the match?
I feel like they've had better matches than this, but it wasn't a bad match. It's good fire here and there. I mean, the ending kind of shocked me. I thought Eddie would still retain, but when I saw Perry won the belt, I was like, okay, I mean, it makes sense. It keep that rivalry going, and just because I think Eddie and China were like the hottest thing at that time with those two as a couple. So I figured, all right, they'll keep them on the ups, but yeah, everything worked out in the end. John?
This is one of those matches where I hear you guys had an opportunity to give your thoughts on the match. None of it touching anything what I was thinking about the match, which is the feels, the moments of the match. Fuck the match. There's your F-bomb already. No, just yeah. As soon as that music hits, Latino heat, and there comes Eddie Guerrero, there comes China, and instantly, you're brought to the present day with Dominic and Rhea. And you're just watching this magic come out, and you can say, "Oh, they're just Dominic and Rhea ripping off these two." Who cares? Yeah, this shit was awesome, and this isn't even the bell didn't even ring yet. So I was just in love with Eddie Guerrero, watching him come out and then doing their thing, and then my mind just floats away, and I'm just thinking about how great Eddie Guerrero is, and not just I love the Latino Heat character he became. As WWE champion in around 2003, but this Eddie, the legitimate Eddie Guerrero, the skinny Eddie Guerrero, like this fucking guy was a banger too, and it just brought back a lot of you're daydreaming at that point. I'm daydreaming at that point. I don't care what happens next. As soon as Perry Saturn's music hits, and here they come, and it's like, all right, yeah, the Radicals, year 2000, and they were just teammates, and they just came to the company a couple of months earlier. Great, and you want to go for a throwback? Do you guys remember Marlena and China? They debuted with each other right there, and there's a little reunion there.
6 degrees. Go ahead, John.
As for the match itself, it was a little clunky. Just like you guys mentioned, between these two guys, you should know each other really, really well from all their days on Thunder on TBS. There's some spots, and the reputation of Eddie Guerrero and Benoit and Angle, and them getting mad at each other for botching things. Man, the conversations you could have with Saturn, as one eye goes that way and out the other ear. So what the hell, man? So there's a couple of botches in here, and man, oh man, did I also forget Perry Saturn was European champion? Jeez, now I got to watch SummerSlam to find out what the hell happened to that belt. Yeah. Maybe I don't want to know, but no, this match, this segment, I don't remember it much for the match, but I remember it more for all the feels it gave me. So. In that sense,
I give it a thumbs up with the fields. Do you think you'll see Dominic Mysterio turn into like that Eddie Guerrero down the road?
I hope he turns into Perry Saturn.
with Moppy?
Yeah, Moppy. Look like Moppy.
If we see that on TV, they stole it from this episode.
Oh, Lord.
Steve Jobs, you are listening from the grave.
Terrible. Question. So we see 3 out of the 4 Radicals in this show. Where is Dean Malenko at this time?
I think he might be hurt. Might have been.
I think he's making milkshakes. Who knows? It's they had a big roster at this time. They're still in competition with WCW. Imagine that. So who knows? But Dean Malenko, he could have been the light heavyweight champion. I bet he could have had a match on the Sunday Night Heat with somebody. So yeah.
All right. So after this, we see Edge and Christian backstage again, and Mick Foley walks in, and Christian runs to the bathroom, acting like he's thrown up again, and it's not happening. Foley said, "You're going to get your ass kicked tonight." So after this again, we see Kurt Angle backstage, and he gets on Undertaker's bike, and Undertaker is pissed off, and he chases him. A lot of segments, man. They did a lot of segments back in the early 2000s.
Well, here's a question that pops up in my head, Dom, is that this show, with all the backstage segments, it does appear like a larger version of Monday Night Raw. Now, back in that time in 2000, do you think it would be more beneficial for the pay-per-views to be more like big match, featured match, or make it more like what people will watch on free TV? Make it more like a TV show with different segments and things like that.
I like the big match. I like how they have it now. You get 5, maybe 6 matches. That's it.
Because an argument can be made for either one. It's kind of like, hey, I watch this show every week on Monday Night Raw for free, and here comes the pay-per-view. Let me turn that on. Hey, where's all the cool backstage segments? Where's all the talking? All they do is wrestle. I can imagine some people are like that, and other people be like, no, the pay-per-view, that's where you settle business. All the talking's over.
Let's see what WCW is doing.
So you can see it from both perspectives. But you can imagine, I remember, if you ever went to a live event for the first time in your life, it's always someone's first live event. And we had a running joke in my crew. Someone always says, man, that ring looks small. So some people are like, I miss the commentary. Because they don't hear it, they just watch the match. I miss the commentary. It's like, well, you're never coming with me again.
I remember at one point, I think it was around WrestleMania 27, they were supposed to they're going to sell little mini headphones. You could listen to the commentary. Yeah. I wonder what happened to that.
Like a radio WWE or something, I remember.
Yeah, that would have been dope.
It might have been too much money and just the specs of it. I don't know. You could probably do it now because it's easier with the way technology is. But they'll just say, "Hey, just go on TV." That's probably what it is too. You probably lose the TV viewers or something because sometimes people want to go back home and listen to what they just watched. So if they're like, you already heard it here, it's like, I don't need to go back home. It's all about the views.
I just think the interest was just not there, not strong enough to support it.
I would definitely got it.
Why do it? I remember that from WrestleMania 27 in Atlanta. And look how old that technology is, and suck back then. It's gonna suck now too.
Get that in your Hulk Hogan Thunder Mixer.
Jesus.
Get your Verizon with EVDO. Whatever that is.
All right. So our next match is for the tag titles. We have Edge and Christian. They're your tag team champions, and they take on the Acolytes, Bradshaw and my man Farouk. And like I said, they are in Dallas, Texas. What's something wrong with your ear?
Oh, you could have went like this.
So, well, damn, Dom, you ain't.
I know. Come on, Bubba.
Jersey back there.
It wasn't about him. He's in Texas. It's all about JBL, Bradshaw. Bradshaw cut a hell of a promo, and this showed that he has potential, that he can talk on the mic, and he's proud. He's Texas proud. Matter of fact,
it showed that he was unfocused.
Yeah,
Didn't know what the hell to say.
Matter of fact, I got something to show y'all real quick. I gotta take the headphones off and show you about my Texas pride right quick. Hold on.
Texas pride.
I'm also gonna take a peep.
Might as well.
Man,
Jesus.
But yeah, Bradshaw had a one hell of a promo, and yeah, he was showing off his early ability.
Strong, baby. Bought that when I went to WrestleMania in Dallas. That shit was dope.
Oh.
Johnny, can't see. I'll show you one more time.
What did you do? You picked it up at the Piggly Wiggly?
Texas strong.
Heck yeah.
Who is that for? Mark Henry in the Hall of Fame?
Matter of fact, I gotta watch his A&E. It's out. Anyways, Bradshaw showed a lot of potential.
Is that WWE? That WWE
Nah,
license?
that's just something I seen in one of them Texas thrift shops after WrestleMania 38. We was there.
It says, what does it say on the back? Pro-life?
All right.
Yeah.
No politics. Only it doesn't matter
politics.
Except the ones I bring up.
That's right. All right. So, Bradshaw show he had a lot of potential right here. Because I remember in another show, what was it, him and Eddie Guerrero? And he cut a mean-ass promo, and that's when he won the title?
Oh, when he was talking about his mother?
I think so.
He gave Eddie Guerrero's mother a heart attack.
The boy is good. That boy was good.
Okay.
He's a great talker. He can back it up, and he can play a chicken shit heel. So he's versatile.
Fair.
Yeah, but, at this time when Edge and Christian came out, for somebody who was sick, Christian looked pretty fine, with the big with the big glasses and all that stuff like that. But man, they started talking trash about Texas, and Bradshaw just came out and they just put up a fight. I'm like, oh, okay. The Acolytes, they actually might win the tag team titles.
Yeah.
But nope, didn't happen. Edge, using his intelligence, hanging out with Kurt Angle, took that tag title and smacked Ron Simmons, Farouk, right in the back.
In front of the ref.
They retain the title. They lose. On to SummerSlam, or the next match they had. Wait, hold on. No, TLC, right?
Yeah.
That's the next one.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I think the Acolytes would challenge them again on a Raw or a SmackDown. And then something where the Hardys and Dudleys came out, and now it's when TLC started. I believe. I could be wrong. By the time, the Acolytes didn't really need the belts. They're just another tag team. I think Farouk at that time was just getting the guys over, and he was going to kick your ass, though. I'll tell you that. You're going to earn it.
Strap, do you recall how the Acolytes became a tag team? That's way before the corporate ministry.
Well, in real life, you just had these two guys. You had Bradshaw and you had Ron Simmons Farouk outside of the Nation of Domination, doing absolutely nothing with each other. And as Vince Russo would do, he would just pair up random guys and see what would happen. There you go, New Age Outlaws. Boom! Here comes the Acolytes. So that's how they became a tag team. So I wonder if JBL ever talks shit about Vince Russo, seeing as Russo is responsible for his career, his successful career, actually. One of the few times I'll give Mr. Russo any credit for something. But that's how they became a team. Vince Russo just put them together one time, and it became a thing.
It's different.
Yeah, well, it definitely worked out. Good job, Russo.
But did it work out for Bart Gunn and Bodacious Billy Bully?
Boom.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
Bodacious Bob and Bombastic Bart.
Mr. Boombox.
Jesus Christ.
Bootylicious Beyonce and...
All right, so after this, we see the Undertaker still trying to pursue Kurt Angle, and Kurt Angle uses intelligence by luring him in, and he had a big-ass wrench, and he clocked him right in the back of the knee, and Taker, I'm going to get you, boy.
Undertaker was already walking around the limb.
Yeah.
He was selling that injury the whole time he was chasing.
Yeah, I guess he got hit with the wrench before, like on that SmackDown the weekend before. That's why he had that limp before the match he had later on during the night. I love that. Oh yeah, I'm coming to get you.
Yep. All right, so our next match, we have a steel cage match, which didn't make any sense to me. We have Rikishi going for the Intercontinental title against Val Venis with Trish Stratus in his corner.
Oh man, I remember this version of Val Venis. Oh man, I think they had this music and character in the PlayStation 1 game, the second SmackDown game they had.
SmackDown Just Bring It.
I remember it. Yeah, the second one. Yeah, because
Or Know Your Role, I think it was called.
Yeah, this is.
That was,
It doesn't matter what it's called. I don't
let's bring with the third one, I'm gonna say.
Ah.
But anyways, when I first seen this, I was looking at the video package, and Val Venis had the long hair, had the V on the trunks. Now he just plain Jane with the black trunks and the regular hair. Out here looking like Sean Stasiak meat. Generic music. Just walking down there, and beautiful girl by his side, and I don't know what happened. Like what inspired him to, change his character all of a sudden. Like, he ain't the porn star no more. From, 98? Val Venis made his debut, so 2 years he changed up his gimmick.
Yeah.
It's an evolution.
He didn't do the right to censor just yet. That would come later on.
Later on, yeah.
Okay.
So I was curious, when did Rikishi do it for The Rock?
Yeah.
Coming soon.
So this is why Austin's out right now?
Yeah, he did the neck injury thing.
Listen, the storyline made no sense. They didn't have a beginning, end, or anything to it. But yes, later this year, Rikishi would turn heel, and he'd team with Triple H against against The Rock and Stone Cold.
All right. Now I was just trying to put one and two together. Okay. Like I know it's coming soon, but when did it exactly happen? So
this coming Survivor Series is The Undertaker and Kurt Angle, with The Undertaker wearing Godfather's pants.
He talked about that on Van Vliet. Any regrets in wrestling? Yeah, those pants. He said, I thought it looked cool on me. Snake skin. Next thing you know, I put them on. I look like a damn fool. Yeah, you did. You lost your luggage? Nah.
Just like 2002 was a big year for WWE, 2000 was also a big year for WWE. Lots of things going on there.
Yes. All right. So, this Intercontinental title match in a steel cage. First of all, I never knew Val Venis ever had a steel cage match in his career.
Me neither.
You know, his name was Steel in Mexico.
Nope, I had no idea. Anyways, when I seen the cage, I'm like, wait, is this the time when Rikishi fell off the top of the cage? I'm like, nope, this ain't it. So
You're talking about when he fell on top of the that truck wagon or whatever it
that
was.
truck, because I never seen that
Flatbed.
match.
That was the Hell in the Cell with 6 guys. It was him, Austin, Taker.
Armageddon.
Yeah.
We're going to announce the It Doesn't Matter podcast picks for December, which will include Armageddon.
I never seen
2000.
that match, but I just see my man just falling.
Well, that just jumped the list. That will be the number 1 pick in December. Armageddon.
Oh Lord.
6 men. Go.
It was the greatest match you could play on SmackDown. Just bring it for PlayStation 2.
I agree.
All right, back to this match. John, what do you think about this match?
I mean, I had a lot of fun, and these two guys are great. I mean, Rikishi was still on a hot streak at the time. Val Venis. Hey, man, always a Val Venis fan. Doesn't matter what he looks like or doesn't matter what song is coming out to, unless it's the right to censor.
With the white pants.
But, no, it was just like Val. He just wasn't that over, but Rikishi was. But it was a tepid match. It didn't get as much. Of all the matches, this one didn't really get that much heat of all the matches. Most of the matches on the show. It was what it was, but man, the crowd go on fuego. Rikishi was on the top rope, inching over to a spot, and I'm just waiting for that money shot. Rikishi's face.
I did it for the bro. I'm doing it for the bro.
When I saw
that, win for that shit.
So, man, I'm thinking freaking. He's thinking of Snuka when he's doing that. I'm like,
oh yeah. That's what I got in my notes.
Oh, yeah.
He got the Superfly Splash going on right now.
But I'm just, like, scared. That's a big freaking dude. You're dropping from 20 feet. And he's probably never done that before. That's...
Hell no.
Whew, as athletic as those guys are, the Samoans, man... I don't know, man. That drop just... You can see it in his face like, oh, fuck. What did I just put myself into?
Me being me... and seeing him climb up that cage, I wanted to see that man do a leg drop off the top of that shit. Oh my God. That should have probably killed me.
That's what Matt Hardy was thinking at that very moment.
Yeah, but Val Venis, he showed some intelligence because I never seen anybody do it before. When Rikishi's getting ready to hit the stink face, he got low blowed. I'd never seen anybody do that to Rikishi before.
Smart, yeah.
That was very smart.
She did what Rico Constantino did.
Gimme. He just...
Oh
man. I don't do this.
Like, never mind.
We gotta find Rico, man. Dom, get your research going and find Rico.
No. We know the kind of guys that Dom likes to book, so, never mind. Coming up next, Henry Godwin, folks.
Hey, I wouldn't mind having him. He's down BSK. On Undertaker's podcast, he said if he gets 100,000 subscribers, he's going to do a live show with all the members of BSK at WrestleMania. Well, that weekend.
That are alive.
Well, there's only one that's missing.
Yep.
That's it. Savio, the Godwins, Rikishi, the Godfather.
He'll be well past that.
Oh, he'll get it.
He'll probably get that this week.
After we name dropped him on this show.
Boom.
You're welcome.
All right. So the finish of the match, Rikishi was getting ready to escape. Then Tazz with 2 Z's came out of nowhere, hit him with the camera. What the fuck? Like, why? Like, it made no sense. Like, Tazz, what are you doing right now?
Yeah, that caught me off guard because Trish had already interfered and Lita came in with the save, so I'm expecting Rikishi is able to walk out the cage, and then I see that, I'm like, really, Tazz? What the hell are you doing? Like, I don't know if they had like a match later on during SummerSlam or something down the road, but Tazz, really? You against Rikishi? One of these things just, I don't want to see.
He took out Scotty 2 Hotty. He took out God, it was nothing but a lot of jabrones at the time, but I don't know. I don't get this Tazz because John, what did he do after this pay-per-view? Like, I know he floundered. I know he became a ring announcer. I know he was with the Alliance the following year, but what?
I mean, this is kind of silly. I just want to say, going around in my house right now, there's a bunch of animals howling at some sirens. But that's all I want to say right now for that. Where did Tazz go? I mean, I was going to make a joke that, we're going to get that epic Tazz and Rikishi match the next month of SummerSlam. No, I believe that Tazz fought Jerry the King Lawler at the next month's SummerSlam for some reason. So I think Tazz was just a one-man crime spree, beating everyone up randomly all the time. And he would just, his biggest claim to fame would be teaming with Spike Dudley. And they had the tag team championships for a little bit. They went to WrestleMania as a tag team, so that was Tazz's most significant match in his WWF career.
Hey John, you want to know what happened? So the King beat Tazz in 4 minutes.
Wow.
And then you asked about Perry Saturn and the United States Championship. The European Championship. Let me see.
Guess what show we're not covering in the month of August?
That one.
This dude didn't even have a match. Saturn. So it was the Cat with Al Snow. She fought Terry with Perry Saturn in a STINKFACE match.
Now we're going to put it on the list.
And here you go. You have an intergender tag team match for the Intercontinental Championship. Eddie Guerrero and China against Val Venis and Trish Stratus. Wow.
What? I mean, the pay-per-views I watched in order back in the day was WrestleMania 12 at my friend's house, but we skipped the main event because we had to go to school the next day, so I did not see the Iron Man match. The very next pay-per-view that I ever watched live, not 3 months later on VHS, was Unforgiven 2002. Wow. So there's a big. Obviously it's been many years, 24 years or so plus, that I've had a chance to catch up on a lot of shows that I've never seen, but I did read a lot. I read the PWIs, I read the WWF magazines, and saw the pictures. I know a lot of what happened, but it's kind of almost like a fake memory. It's like, as if reading is fake because it's all in your head. But things I've read versus things I've seen, and there's lots of things that SummerSlam or WWF pay-per-views I've never seen. I've only read. So that's why the visceral memory.
I thought I'd seen every single SummerSlam, but looking at this card, I don't remember it.
Well, you can borrow the SummerSlam anthology from our friend Randy, who probably has all his DVDs.
Listen to this card right here. The opening match is Right to Censored. Steven Richards, Bull Buchanan, The Good Father, taking on Too Cool, Scott Duhati, Grandmaster Sexay, and Rikishi.
That's in 2000?
Yeah, that's the next month.
Wait, the Right to Censor is starting up right now?
Yeah.
So Val wouldn't join until about, I want to say, Survivor Series or Rumble?
Yeah, probably.
They would kidnap him pretty soon.
That's why the character changed for him.
Yeah, then you got X-Pac versus Road Dogg, then the tag team match for the Intercontinental. I just told you. You got King and Tazz, and you got Steve Blackman going against Shane McMahon. Everybody remembers that hardcore match.
Yeah.
Shane went flying off he dropped from the damn Titantron. You got Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho in the 2 out of 3 falls match. Then you have that TLC match for the tag titles. Everybody still talks about that to this day. That STINKFACE match. You have the Undertaker versus Kane. I don't remember that match. And it's crazy. It's only 7 minutes.
That's all you need.
And then you have the triple threat match for the WWF Championship. The Rock going against Triple H and Kurt Angle.
That's the one where Kurt Angle gets knocked out, and then Triple H helps him finish up the match. Because Stephanie has they talk about it in I forget, in another interview. I guess Stephanie's trying to help Kurt throughout the match, and then she's like, "All right, Triple H, you got to take over," and they figure out a way. And 1, 2, 3. I think that's the night Kurt wins. Was Kurt? No, Kurt doesn't win. Triple H wins, right?
The Rock won.
Rock won that one?
Yeah.
Where's the other one?
Probably Plano. 2 out of 3 guesses wrong.
All right, back to
One of
the
them's going to hit.
show. All right.
It's like baseball. As long as you're a 300 hitter, that's all that matters.
Good luck with that.
All
All right, so after this, we see Triple H and Undertaker both looking for Kurt Angle backstage. Triple H is walking backstage, and we see Harvey Whippleman with more flowers, and he's like, "Where is he? Where's Kurt Angle? Huh? Where's the locker room? Right here." Come to find out, it wasn't Kurt Angle. It was Chris Jericho sending the flowers. And, yeah. So after this, we see Shane McMahon in the ring. He calls out The Rock. The Rock comes out. The Rock thing is just set up. He's expecting Chris Benoit to come attack him. But Benoit is in the locker room, right in front of The Rock's, thousands of dollars of clothes. And then he just tears it up and he puts like motor oil in his bag and some shit like that, like antifreeze or whatever. Like, where the hell did you get that from? First and foremost, how many outfits does The Rock need for one night?
You never know. He's got to have options.
He goes home once a
like
week.
4 pants and like 4 shirts. I'm like, all right, what the hell?
Like you said, Dom, guys got to have options.
Yeah.
More suits than Johnny Cochran.
Wear what you wore into the arena. Take it off. Hang it up. Take a shower. Put it back on. All right, let's go.
Damn.
It's not about what's in your carry-on. It's about how you look carrying it on.
That's it. So he tore up his clothes and yeah. But all right, here we go. Kurt Angle versus The Undertaker. Angle comes out scared shitless, have the wrench in his hand. The pyro's going off. He's scared. And The Undertaker, he comes out of nowhere on his bike. No entrance, nothing. While Angle's music is still going on. I like that shit. If it's supposed to be a fight that, I'm going to kick your ass, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to blindside you. I'm not going to come out there. I'm not doing the pose. I'm not doing none of that stuff. I don't care if the music don't go off.
I guess Jeff Hardy's never been in a real fight then, huh? Jeff Hardy must pose
his brother
before
beat
the
up.
match.
He had to do it right quick. AEW debut. Oh, that was funny. That was pretty funny.
I would also hate to be Mercedes Monet's friend.
Which one?
Oh, yeah. Gotta do the pose.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Would you help? Would you come to?
But I enjoyed that. The little things like that what Taker does, I enjoyed it because it makes it feel more authentic right there.
It makes it more real instead of him just being a character. He's actually being real, and that's exactly how anyone would feel if someone's pissing you off to the point where you just literally like, I'm coming to kick your ass. I'm not joking around, and I'm not here to, like you said, I'm not here to pose and do all this dead man shit. Like, F that. Coming in, kicking ass, taking names, I'm out.
Undertaker beating up backstage, puts on his glasses, his bandana, his coat, waits for his cue.
Well, you got an image to uphold, but still got to look like a badass on the bike. So, what do you think about the match, John?
I mean, it was a good match. It was very intense, and it fit the storyline. It was very appropriate for their storyline, which is not something I can say for one of the other 3 main events on the show. But no, it was very well done, and yeah, it was different. Just like you said, it was different. Undertaker was still experimenting with his character at the time, and yeah, it was different is good when it comes to The Undertaker, because with him, you could just expect him to do the same thing all the time, every time. So it was a good, intense matchup.
It was a great match, I thought. And Taker, he kicked off the match, ringside, beat my man Angle's ass. And next, Angle finally got some offense, and he started working on the leg. But Taker did what he had to do. You get that monstrous choke slam. You get that monstrous last ride. You get the win. 1, 2, 3. That's it. That was a good match.
Yeah.
Triple main events.
I got to agree with you, though. That was a good match. I thought Taker was going to take more of the match itself, which he did, but I didn't think he was going to give any offense, to be honest, on Kurt after everything. But you got to make it look good. You got to have some kind of disadvantage, and it came out perfect the way it was. It just showed that Kurt was actually ready for the main event at that time too. So, especially being against Deadman, he probably went backstage like, "Yeah, he's ready."
Yes, he's definitely ready. All right, so after this, we see The Rock backstage, and you see his outfits all tore up. So, the main event is approaching, one of your main events. But our next match is a last man standing match. We have Y2J, Chris Jericho taking on Triple H with Stephanie McMahon and Helmsley. And this is the second time it's been a last man standing match in history. And the first one was with Rock and Mick Foley in 1999. Yes. Jericho's ribs are all taped up. Triple H came out looking monstrous, impressive like always, and I hated Triple H at this time. I said it on Wrestling That Made Us. I hated Triple H with a passion. But you know what? He was that damn good. He did his job. And I realize that now that I am definitely older. Like, he made Jericho look good. He made every single opponent he fought after the whole DX thing, he made that person look good. And he sells. He sells. Abel said all the time, you have to sell. Triple H does it. Triple H is that damn good. And take my hat off to Triple H. I enjoyed this last man standing match because Triple H brought the pain. He elevated Jericho, even though Jericho just debuted last year in August. And he wasn't getting really much big wins at the time, but he's still one of the top guys at this time. So he wasn't getting that time at that shine in WCW. So I definitely enjoyed it. What about you, Platinum?
No, I definitely agree. But the whole selling with Triple H, he's next level. It's one of those things that if you're a young wrestler and you want to actually like listen to one of the vets, he's one of those guys that you want to like pick at his brain and just be like, what am I doing wrong? Not what am I doing great, because the crowd's going to tell me what I'm doing great. But it's those little details, and the selling is so important. And the way he carried himself too, he made Jericho look bigger than who he was. He knows what he's doing. Yeah, maybe they were some backstage politics that I don't like, and it is what it is. But the proof's in the pudding. When you're good, you're good. And he did everything that he needed to make Jericho look good. And even though he got the win, he made himself vulnerable. And Jericho came out getting over, even though he didn't go over.
Yeah. That chair shot that Jericho gave Benoit, gave Triple H. Oh my God.
That was beautiful.
A lot of blood. A lot of blood.
You can see.
What are your thoughts? Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm saying you can see how he stole from Triple H stole from Ric Flair too, because that's another thing. You're gonna steal from the GOAT, then you better make sure you do it right, and he did. Trap.
Yeah, Triple H is something else, man. He definitely is something else.
Yeah.
No, I didn't really like this match that much. I know Triple H's style, and I was never a guy to say that I did not like Triple H, but I did get kind of like the Undertaker, got accustomed to his style, and I just thought this was another very Triple H heavily Triple H kind of match, and I just wasn't into it. I just wasn't. So. I mean, well worked, of course, because he is Triple H, he is Chris Jericho, but I just lost interest in this match, and that's all I gotta say about that.
So that 3 still not bad.
Did y'all think he was gonna connect when he swung that sledgehammer?
No.
And hit the ring post?
No.
Like, you never see him swing the sledgehammer like that.
No.
Oh, man. All right, but the finish of the match is the guys are outside the ring, and he hits a backdrop on Chris Jericho through the announce table. And
yeah, of all things, a backdrop. But in my head, I'm like, all right, you could explain it away where his head hit the concrete, knocked him out. So even I think is it JR or no King? He was like, yeah, he sacrificed himself. I'm like, he didn't sacrifice himself.
I think that's maybe what affected it for me is that I'm just not a fan of outside the ring shenanigans. I honestly just tune out. I'm like, okay, if it's not happening outside the ring, it's not that important unless it's really unique and really good. Because you kind of, I mean, you can say you've seen it all outside the ring. You can say you've seen it all inside the ring as well. But at least to me, there's still an art form inside the ring and outside the ring. It's just brawling that anyone can do. So once they start doing a lot of that, it's kind of like, well, there's no art here. That's just why I tune out. Me personally tune out. Not to say it's a terrible thing for other wrestlers or some other competitors to do. Some people can make it more compelling, but for just me, it was not working with these guys.
John, I think honestly it's because there was so much interference throughout the whole pay-per-view with just about every single match where everything, someone's interfering here, someone's messing with this match there. It's just like, come on, can we just get a straight one-on-one match where no bullshit's going on and just boom, mano a mano?
That's how it was in this time frame. You know, they never had like a clean finish.
They definitely did not, or would not.
Yeah.
In the main event, that is.
Yes. So in our third main event, your final match of the night, we had Chris Benoit taking on the WWF champion, The Rock. Benoit had Shane McMahon in his corner, and Benoit comes out wearing a ripped shirt from Nancy Benoit. I mean, The Rock from the locker room, and Shane comes out with the glasses. But I enjoyed the match. It was a very physical match, and unfortunately, Shane McMahon was in that match, and he had to do Shane shenanigans. Like, I feel like you didn't need it. Like, just like how you feel like the whole outside stuff in the last match, I feel like Shane didn't need to be in this match. I don't really remember this time right here, but what was the alliance with Shane and Chris Benoit?
I don't remember. John's gonna have to answer.
Don't remember. I don't remember either, but I can only imagine that this is a Vince McMahon special. Vince McMahon sees, all right, let's have this match. Let's have the contender, Chris Benoit. He's a little dry. Let's add a heater. Well, from my own sperm, here is Shane. So Shane McMahon, excuse me, creates a lot of movement, and you know what? It's like, almost hypocritical in a sense. No, you can't keep your eyes off Shane McMahon. You can't keep your eyes off the mosquito buzzing around ringside as a great match is taking place in the ring with Benoit and The Rock going strong style against each other. And then every now and again, there it is, that little mosquito, getting his fists in between the ropes when the ref's back is turned. And you could be tired of Mr. Shane McMahon at this point, or hate that kind of shenanigans, but there's a special place in the heart for WWE fans with Shane McMahon, and there's one with me in it. So, as much as I would appreciate, yes, a one-on-one matchup in the ring with no BS, I love that Shane. And yes, there's a lot of nonsense going on leading to the finish, which I'm sure you'll give us in great detail.
I got to second you on that, John, because normally I can't stand when someone's constantly interfering like that as much, but something about Shane, it just seemed like he was always in the right place at the right time. A lot of the shit was necessary for him to interfere with The Rock, because I think he had left the ministry or the corporation. Sorry. Yeah, it was the corporation about a year before. That's when he became the People's Champion. So maybe that lingering of him just like stabbing Vince McMahon in the back and going on his own still there, because the McMahons, they never forget. And when we get you, we're all gonna get you.
Basically.
Yeah. So yeah, the whole mosquito in the room, it was perfect an analogy. It's like, all right, you're fine, and it is son of a bitch, he's right there. And you come back, oh, he got me, you fucker. It's perfect. I think he fit the mold of the match, and he put himself where he needed to be in every spot. And the false finish of Benoit winning because of a DQ, I was like, okay,
Yeah,
when the hell did he win the belt?
What kind of match was this? Was no disqualification match?
No, it was if The Rock DQ'd himself, he would lose the belt. That's the only stipulation.
All right, I was so confused when I seen it happen. I'm like, wait a minute, like what did I miss? I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, all right, so we're gonna fast forward the finish of the match. We see Shane McMahon. No,
Yeah.
Benoit grabbed the chair. Benoit grabbed the chair, but Shane got it, and then he nailed Earl Hebner in the back of the chair. Well, in the back with the chair, and then The Rock grabs the chair and he chases off Shane basically,
Yep.
and then Earl rolls over and he sees The Rock with the chair.
So yep,
And he put Benoit in the crippler crossface, and then he just stops the match. The bell rings. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, Benoit didn't tap out.
Yeah.
Might have passed out, but he didn't tap out. But
Earl with his dirty tricks again. Just sees another Canadian in another move that he does. Ring the bell. Fuck him.
Maybe that's the way he calls for the bell, but he did it the exact same way.
Yeah, you noticed that too. I was like, oh, you mother.
Ring the bell. Who rings a bell like this anyway?
That's what I was just thinking.
Off.
But it's crazy that took place. I was so confused, and The Rock was pissed off. Like, are you for real? I ain't hit you with a chair, blah, blah, blah. Next you know, Benoit and Shane, they leave with the belt. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. I'm like, there's no way that this is going to happen. And, of course, John's boy, Mick Foley, comes out. The Commissioner Foley comes out. Said there's no disqualification. You're going to finish this match. And he was
not happy.
I don't know. He was serious. And then, yeah.
He had a bad night.
Yep, Edge and Christian got over. Yep.
Edge and Christian pulled one over him, you know?
Ugh, I'm really sick. Oops.
It's that jungle juice.
Canadian juice. Yeah, so The Rock retained the title. And that was it.
You know, this is I was trying to I looked at where this show was taking place. Forgot what the arena was actually named, but looking back in their Wikipedia history, this is the only pay-per-view that they ever had in this facility, the WWF. And I'm like, what happened to this arena, whatever it was called? The Dallas...
Was it where the Mavericks played?
Perhaps. And the building would last until 2008 because it was immediately shut down after one Democratic nominee had a political event there. That was Mr. Barack Obama. But they closed down. They closed down this arena in 2008, and it's been around for a while. But the only notable show they ever had there was this pay-per-view, Fully Loaded 2000. So I thought that was a little interesting factoid. I'm like, this building looks a little different. I've been in Dallas. We didn't go here. So I was just curious. So I looked it up, and that's what I found out.
Center now, right?
No. Yeah, well, now it's the American
Airlines.
Airlines Center in, like, downtown. Just in the middle of downtown. You know?
Wow.
Sure. Okay.
So, does the show matters?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It definitely does.
It definitely matters. It's a great snapshot of WWF Attitude at its one of its mountaintops, not the peak, but it was definitely on one of the higher graded pay-per-views, even with some of the weird stuff in between. But there was a lot of entertaining stuff on the show, a lot of things that made you think and feel. So definitely, thumbs up.
I definitely agree. Like you said, it wasn't at the tippy top, but for one of the lower tier pay-per-views at the time, PLE, it was up there. It's very rewatchable, and I would definitely recommend everybody to watch that.
Just think of these stupid Attitude Era names, man. Fully Loaded. What the hell does that mean?
It's funny watching the intro to the show.
Next month, WWF Pinched Asshole.
Watching this intro for Fully Loaded, and they got the dice up there. How come you're not in Vegas?
Yep. I was thinking the
You're in
same
Dallas,
thing.
Texas.
I was thinking the same thing. So you're telling me the dice are loaded, so you're cheating me.
There's a lot of cheating taking place in the show, so
Oh,
there you go.
And it will never come back again. This is the
Terrible.
last Fully Loaded.
But John, good choice on the show.
great choice.
Great choice on the show. That's how you close out the month of July.
Oh. I gotta tell you, I forgot about. I mean, like I said, I've never seen it, and I forgot about the finish. I thought the finish, because The Rock, he only started doing the sharpshooter. Actually, that's not true. He had a submission match. I think it was with Benoit. It might have been on Raw, I guess. But Rock doesn't have a submission move. But out of nowhere, he started using the sharpshooter because of his feud with submission specialist Chris Benoit. And I thought he won the pay-per-view, this pay-per-view, with that move. He did not. He just won it with a quick rock bottom, I believe. So I was like, my memories! What the hell's wrong with my memories? So I don't know where that came from. Hell, I could be making it up. You don't know.
John stumped.
But he definitely started using the sharpshooter as a finisher. His terrible, I got to poop sharpshooter after his feud with Chris Benoit. Or maybe it was with Kurt Angle. I'm not really sure.
I hate it. But I enjoyed this show. It's the first time I've ever seen it, so touche. That's how you close out July. Next week, August, Platino's Choice. We're going to take it back 25 years. August 9th of 1999. We're bringing it back. We are doing a head-to-head. John, do you know what day that is? August 9th, 1999?
Go ahead, Dom.
Well, that is the debut of Y2J, Chris Jericho. So we're going to cover Raw and Nitro on that same show. Well, that same night.
Oh, no, we suck again. I mean,
That's like a modern day
Last time
pay-per-view.
we did a head-to-head was January 4th of 1999 when Foley won the title.
So who's watching what?
Platino's call. He wanted to, discuss this, so I'm watching both, of course.
I'm going to watch WCW because I didn't watch that at the time, so I want to know what was going on the other show.
I figured you would choose WWF since it's about Jericho.
Hey, listen, sometimes it's I want to see what's on the other side of the field.
All right, John, you got Raw duties.
So Raw.
Unless you want to trade.
That's all right. You get some WCW in you.
WCW, and that's how we're going to kick off August.
All right.
All right. Great show, guys. Platino, get us out of here.
All right. With that being said, show's over. About to get the head-to-head. John, next week, Raw will be Platino. Man, I am Papi Platino. I'm here with StratFacts John, the greatest historian we've ever met. I'm with the host, the notorious one. He is Dom. And this is the It Doesn't Matter podcast. We will see you next week. Boom.